Well, hello model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Revell, and this week I'm just going to dive right into this one, the 71 Mach 1 Mustang. This is the Diamonds Are Forever kit that just came out. And like I've shown you, I've got two of them, but I also got this conversion widebody kit from Iceman Collections that's done by Black Box. And this really interests me, so I'm going to look these components over. So let's dive right into it here and see what we got. I mean, I've kind of looked at it, but get right into all the rest of it. So we'll put this away. But there's some pretty interesting stuff in here, and we'll see how it fits against the body, and we'll start trying some of this stuff out here. So some of the stuff is kind of mocked together. I was sliding the wheels together to see how they fit, because there's two fronts and two rears, and they're different staggers. So and then the barrel comes out, which is cool, makes it easy to paint, which this one is kind of snug at the moment, just wiggling it. There we go. So yeah, there's the barrel and the tire, which is kind of neat. It's a little bit more rounded on one side than the other, but the barrel seems to only really want to go a certain way or whatnot, but the tread. So yeah, we'll be checking that stuff out. But yeah, here's the wire mesh insert, which you can put it in there and paint it whichever color you want. I'm not sure the color combos on this thing yet, so I've got to decide. But those are interesting, and I might see what other wheels I have that'll fit this, but I don't know. These wheels are kind of cool. I'm kind of digging on them. So, and then the rest of this stuff, kind of crazy. These are the rockers, which are hollow. It's gonna be fun painting in there. I'm not sure if these are gonna be black or body color or carbon fiber yet. Probably at least black. That's just kind of like the modern trend now. So I like those two rockers, and there's a spot here where it mates up with the quarter panel here. So this is probably the wrong side. Yep. Where's the other one? Right here. So it helps locate it, which is really cool. And I can't get it to slide in right now. There it goes. So that's fitting pretty well. So lots of interesting stuff on here. But that is open. And it's got this little grill, these little grills that go in there. Like this is this side. There's a couple of standoffs in there that need to be cleaned out, if you can see them in there. So those need to be cleaned out, and then make sure this fits. And these I think will be black, but I haven't decided on a body color yet. What to do? Something different. There's a front, but here's a couple parts that I don't get. Here's the rear exhaust and panel, but it comes up and it looks like that's where the valance panel is, or the rear bumper. It's kind of hard to tell. If it's the valance panel, this thing really hangs down, but I think that's more the rear bumper. But we'll see on this. But I'm having a tough time envisioning this on the car, but we'll see. And then another thing, I love this front spoiler. This I think is going to look good. Then I got these funky brakes. The way they mount and adapt so you don't modify the suspension kind of makes it easy to go. And then there's this wing. I don't know about this. I think it's a little too much, just the wing and everything. But comparing this, now I started taking some of this stuff apart off of the sprues and just kind of playing with it a little bit. So with the body here, I'm taking the interior off and checking out these parts, and I left all of the engine parts on the sprue for right now, and I got a reason for that, because I'm probably not gonna keep this motor in it, but I haven't decided yet, but there's a high probability. And here's the hood without locks, which the non-rammer version, which is what this kit has, just keeping it true to the bond. But with this hood and then throwing this wing on the back, It's like, I don't know. Oops. This is all mock-up and play and thoughts, of course. It's getting kind of crazy. I'm not quite liking the way it fits, because it kind of fits that way and then this way, so you can kind of see it rocks. But I think it's just a little too much. You know, got a spoiler on top of a spoiler, and I don't know. I mean, the stock spoiler would be a little bit too much for it, which this kit doesn't come with, but the Boss 302 kit had. But this one, I may end up just removing this whole top spoiler altogether and just using the exaggerated one that's on there also, that just molds this one out just a little bit more and kicks it out. So I think that's just aggressive enough. Leave the stock rear panel a little bit and not have this. This seems kind of strange to me, to have this hanging down and out, because that looks like that's how it's going to fit and coming up around the bumper. So I don't know. Just kind of, you know, artistic license and what we feel. But the rest of the body kit I'm kind of liking. But check this out. I don't need the hood. I mean, I've got to clean up some sanding in here, but this is fitting really nicely right out of the box onto this body. But you can see how much of this you got to cut out to really lower the front. So you're going to be cutting quite a bit of the wheel off. There's no lighting in there, sorry. But you really have to ground all that. But I'll figure I'll get that cleaned up. Maybe clean up the body lines in here and where some of the printing material is, where it's a little bumpy. Smooth all of that stuff out and get that fitting a little better. Fits pretty nicely. Doesn't look like it's going to need a whole lot of putty. I kind of like these gills right here. It's pretty cool. But get that on there. Really gives it the wide body stance. And then here's the rear. And same thing. It's fitting pretty nicely. But I think I got just some cleanup on the inside. Get that sucker glued on and lined up and cleaned out. But that sucker's going to be wide. It's going to be ridiculous. And we'll see what I don't know what colors to really do on this. Something dark, something bright. I don't know. I think a bright color would really make this thing stand out a little too much, or really exaggerate the wide body. Maybe go with a dark color. Not sure yet. Probably going to shave the handles off, just fill those in and shave them off, because I think that would be cool. But I'm still undecided on a lot of this stuff. But leaving the top kind of the way it is, but maybe going with black all the way across and down the top. And then these going right here. This ought to be interesting, really getting this stuff cleaned up and glued. So this got a curl to it, so it's gonna be interesting. So I'm definitely liking the wide body stuff, but I think I'll tone it down just a little bit on there. There we go. Start fitting some of this stuff. So that's gonna be the first stages. Cleaning this up on the inside and getting it to fit this body. And but it doesn't look like the kit, you know, really change or modify any of the suspension or any of that stuff. Kind of a somewhat curbside, but with the brakes doing that to lower it, it's going to be, you know, kind of odd. And then the exhaust pipes. If I use this, I'm going to have to, you know, trim or cut the exhaust pipes, but it looks like it'll hide them. Like the exhaust pipes will go under them. But that's if I even run the, you know, kit issued exhaust or not, especially if you leave the kit issued engine in there. But I did pick this up also. So I've got this in my stash. And also from Iceman, but it's his Predator motor, GT500 Predator motor. So supercharged modular motor and everything. So I don't know how any of this is going to fit. So this will kind of go into the mockup, but it's kind of unrelated. As long as it fits under the hood and everything else, it should be fine. Just wondering if it's going to be a little too wide to clear those shock towers or whatnot. But, you know, this was engineered for a big block. So, you know, in theory, yes, you know, but you can remove those shock towers, fill them all in. But I don't know. We'll see where this goes with manual tranny and, you know, all this stuff. So kind of nice detail and everything in these headers. So this is going to be interesting, but you know, this is on hand, but not that I'm saying I'm going to use it or not. I'm going to try and just play with it, but we'll see. It's kind of just more having fun and just really getting the body down and getting all of this stuff on it. So this is gonna be quite interesting. So there'll be a lot of cleanup and getting started on this. So we'll get some moving on this, but I'll be interested in your ideas and thoughts on what colors you might go with, what kind of a paint scheme. I think the Widebody kit is really cool, but I don't know about an extra hood scoop on this hood, and I'm having trouble myself feeling this wing. But if I kept it, I would definitely, you know, go a little redundant with the hood and scoops as well. You know, whether I, you know, add another cowl or a forward-facing scoop, or I don't know. You know, this to me is ridiculous, so why wouldn't this be ridiculous? But I haven't really decided there if I want to tone the kit down a little bit, make it a little bit more subtle but wide and everything. Definitely be interesting. And then whether or not I'm going to keep, you know, I like those tires. They're pretty good sized tires, fitting the rest of the thing well. So that ought to be interesting. So anyway, give me your thoughts on what you would do and colors and some of that stuff with something like this. And you know, like I said, I haven't decided. I'm just kind of going to go with the flow and what my mood is on this one. Basically, just going to have some fun here and be bouncing back and forth between it. Not really dedicating myself hardcore to this particular build, but you know, it'll get done and follow along and everything as it gets done. But I'll definitely do more focusing video and spend some time on cleaning this stuff up, scuffing it up a little bit, and gluing it and fitting it to the body. So we'll kind of focus on that. So that'll be kind of a fun video, and I'll make that for you guys, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments. I really do appreciate it, you guys. And you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.